Listen to me. I know you're tired. I know some days it feels like the weight of the world is sitting on your shoulders. And no matter how hard you push, it just won't move. You've been grinding, sacrificing, giving your all, and still it feels like you're stuck. You wake up and wonder, man, is this even worth it? But let me remind you, you didn't come this far to quit now. You didn't start this journey just to stop in the middle of the road. You started because there was something inside you that refused to settle, something that told you you were made for more. When you feel like quitting, that's not the time to stop. That's the moment to remember why you started. Remember the nights you prayed for this opportunity. Remember the moments when nobody believed in you, but you still believed in yourself. Remember the vision that kept you up at night, the reason that made you say, I'm going to make it no matter what it takes. Because that reason, that why, is your fuel. And when your body wants to give up, when your mind is screaming to quit, that why is what keeps you standing when everything else tells you to fall. So don't you dare quit now. You're closer than you think. You might be tired, but you're not finished. You might be hurting, but you're still breathing. And as long as you're breathing, you've got a chance to fight back, to rise up, to finish what you started. When the pain gets real, remind yourself of the purpose that made you start the journey. See, most people can push through when things are easy, when the sun is shining, and when everything seems to go according to plan. But it's when the storm comes, when the nights get long, and when your body aches from the weight of what you're carrying, that's when the real test begins. It's easy to say you're committed when everything is smooth. But true character, real strength, that's revealed in the moments when quitting feels like the only option. You've got to stop in that moment, breathe, and remember why you started in the first place. Because your purpose is what separates you from the rest. It's what keeps you going when the motivation fades, when the applause stops, and when no one is watching. You started this journey for a reason. Maybe it was to prove something to yourself, to break a generational curse, to give your family a better life, or to become the version of yourself you always dreamed of being. That purpose is your anchor, your foundation, your fuel. The world will throw challenges at you, disappointment, failure, rejection. But if your purpose is strong enough, you'll find a way to rise again. You've got to remind yourself, I didn't start this just to stop halfway. You've got to dig deep and reconnect with that fire that made you take the first step. Because when you lose sight of your purpose, you lose your direction. And when you lose your direction, every obstacle feels heavier than it really is. There will be days when you wake up and wonder if any of it matters, when your energy is drained, when your progress feels invisible, when your efforts seem to go unnoticed. That's the moment your mind will start whispering lies, that you're not good enough, that it's too hard, that maybe this isn't meant for you. But you've got to silence that voice with the truth that you started for a reason, that the same fire that pushed you to begin is still inside you, waiting to be reignited. Every great success story is filled with moments of doubt, moments of exhaustion, moments of pain. But the ones who make it, they don't quit when it hurts. They push harder. They take that pain and use it as a reminder that they're alive, that they're fighting for something real. When you're on your path, the world won't always understand you. People might question your choices. They might not see your vision. And that's okay, because it's not their vision. It's yours. They don't feel what you feel. They don't carry your purpose inside of them. That's why you can't rely on external validation to keep you moving. You've got to have an internal drive that refuses to die no matter what's happening around you. Your purpose has to become so clear, so powerful that even when the path gets dark, you can still feel it guiding you forward. Every step you've taken up until this point has meaning. The sweat, the tears, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, they're not wasted. They're part of your story. They're shaping you into the person you need to be to handle what's waiting on the other side. Because success isn't just about reaching a goal, it's about becoming the kind of person who can sustain it. And that transformation doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in struggle. So when the pain hits, don't run from it. Embrace it. Let it remind you of what's at stake, of why you chose this path. Think about how far you've come. Remember those early days when this was just a dream in your mind, when you didn't know how it would happen, but you said, I'm going to make it work. That was your purpose speaking. That was the fire in your soul saying you were meant for more. And that same fire is still burning. It might be buried under frustration, fatigue, or fear, but it's there. You just have to fan it again. You've got to stop focusing on how far you have left to go and start appreciating how far you've already come. That perspective can change everything. There's going to be resistance, and that's part of the process. Growth demands discomfort. The pain you feel right now is proof that you're moving, that you're stretching beyond your limits. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But you were chosen for this. You've got something inside you that refuses to settle, something that craves more than average, more than ordinary. That's your purpose pulling you forward. So when you feel like quitting, that's the moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why did I begin? And let that answer reignite your fight. Every great achiever has been where you are. Moments of exhaustion, confusion, and doubt. But they remembered why they started. They remembered the reason that made them sacrifice everything. And that reason carried them through the storm. You've got to find that same strength. You've got to remind yourself that quitting won't end the pain. It will only replace it with regret. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of quitting lasts forever. So use that pain, channel it, and let it push you forward. Because that purpose you started with, it's still alive inside you, and it's waiting for you to remember it. Quitting won't make the struggle disappear. It only erases the progress you've already made. Every time you think about giving up, you've got to realize that all the work, all the hours, all the sacrifices you've made up to this point, they don't vanish because it got hard. They vanish because you let go. You can't expect to climb a mountain and not face resistance. The air gets thinner, your legs get weaker, your body screams to stop. But if you stop halfway, you don't just lose your energy, you lose every step you've already climbed. That's what quitting does. It erases every ounce of sweat, every late night, every early morning that got you this far. The pain doesn't go away when you quit. It just transforms into something worse. Regret. You can't build greatness without friction. Struggle is not a punishment, it's a requirement. The people you look up to, the ones who inspire you, they didn't reach success because it was easy. They reached it because they refused to quit when it was hard. They faced the same walls, the same doubts, the same exhaustion that you feel right now, but they made a decision. They decided to keep going even when the results weren't showing. That's the secret. Not talent, not luck, not opportunity. Consistency through struggle. You've got to understand that quitting never solves the problem. It might give you a moment of relief, but that relief is temporary because deep down, your heart will remind you that you walked away before you saw what could have been. There's a saying, the darkest part of the night comes just before dawn. And that's true with your goals. The moment when it feels the hardest, when it feels like everything's against you, that's usually the moment right before the breakthrough. But if you quit right there, You'll never see what was waiting on the other side. That's what most people do. They stop too soon. They stop when they're inches away from the finish line because their emotions told them it was over. But your emotions lie. Your emotions tell you it's too much, that it's not worth it, that you've done enough. But progress doesn't care about feelings. Progress only rewards persistence. You've come too far to let temporary pain destroy permanent potential. Every setback you faced wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to build you. Every failure was a lesson, every obstacle a test, every delay a chance to strengthen your resolve. But if you quit, you rob yourself of the reward that comes after the test. Quitting doesn't erase the struggle, it erases the meaning behind it. You went through all that pain for nothing if you stop now. And you owe it to yourself to make that pain count. You owe it to your future self to see what happens if you keep pushing. Think about it. Every time you wanted to quit before, you didn't. And look where that got you. You've already beaten your old self. You've already survived days you thought you couldn't. That proves you've got more strength than you give yourself credit for. Quitting is easy. It's the simplest option. But easy never builds champions. Easy never creates legacy. Easy never makes people remember your name. You've got to be the kind of person who stands in the fire and says, I'll take the heat because I know what's on the other side. And there's no shortcut to success. There's no way to skip the process. The pain, the pressure, the setbacks, they're all part of the design. Quitting just means you refuse to finish what you started, that you chose comfort over growth. And every time you choose comfort, you delay your calling because greatness only grows in the soil of discomfort. Every time you feel like it's too much, remember that's exactly where growth happens. Your limits aren't real until you stop pushing them. The truth is, quitting doesn't protect you. It doesn't save you from pain. It just transfers that pain into a different form. The pain of knowing you didn't give everything you had, that's a pain that follows you. A voice that whispers every time you see someone else succeed, that could have been you. And deep down, you'll know it's right. But if you keep going, if you choose to push through instead, that pain transforms into power. Every small win becomes a reminder that you can endure more than you thought. That's how confidence is built, not by avoiding the struggle, but by surviving it. You've got to stop thinking about how far you still have to go and start appreciating how far you've come. You're not the same person who started this journey. You've evolved, you've grown, you've learned, and every step has brought you closer to the person you're supposed to become. But if you quit, that version of you, the stronger, wiser, more powerful version, never gets a chance to live. You rob yourself of your own evolution. You can't let that happen. You've got to honor the progress you've already made by continuing even when it hurts. Sometimes the struggle is the blessing. It's life's way of preparing you for what you asked for. You said you wanted success, but success demands resilience. You said you wanted greatness, but greatness requires sacrifice. You said you wanted to change your life, but change means discomfort. You can't escape the struggle and expect the reward. You've got to earn it through endurance. Quitting doesn't end the storm. It just means you'll have to start again from the beginning when you realize you still want it later. And starting over is harder than pushing through. So the next time you feel like quitting, remind yourself that stopping now won't make it easier. It won't make the pain go away. It won't make you forget what you wanted. All it does is reset your progress and make the road longer. You're already in the fight. You've already invested too much time, too much energy, too much of your soul to walk away now. The struggle is the price of progress, and quitting only makes you pay it twice. Your why must be stronger than every excuse, every fear, and every obstacle that stands in your way. Because when life hits you, and it doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't care how tired you are or how much you've already been through. It just hits. And in that moment, the only thing that's going to keep you standing is your why. That deep, burning reason behind everything you're doing. That's what separates those who make it from those who don't. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's purpose. When your why is clear, your how becomes stronger, your will becomes unbreakable, and your focus becomes unstoppable. There will be times when you don't see results, when you're putting in the work and nothing seems to move. You'll question yourself. You'll doubt your path. You'll wonder if all the sacrifices are even worth it. That's when your why has to speak louder than your doubts. Your why has to scream at you when your body whispers that it's tired, when your mind tells you to take it easy, when your circumstances convince you to give up. If your why is powerful enough, nothing can stop you. Because when you know why you started, quitting isn't an option. It's not even on the table. Most people fail, not because they don't have what it takes, but because they never connected deeply enough with their reason. They start chasing a goal for superficial motives, money, attention, validation. And when things get hard, those motives fade. But when your why comes from your heart, from something that moves your soul, then pain becomes fuel. You stop running from struggle and start embracing it because you know it's shaping you into the person who can handle your destiny. Your why has to mean something more than comfort. It has to mean survival, growth, legacy, love, something that cuts deep enough to make you keep going when the whole world tells you to stop. You've got to sit with yourself and ask, why am I doing this? Not the surface level answer, not the cliche one, the real one, the one that makes your chest tighten and your eyes water, the one that reminds you of the nights you cried, the promises you made to yourself, the people you said you'd never let down. That's the why that builds warriors, because when you tap into that, fear starts losing its power. Excuses start sounding weak. You stop negotiating with your goals and start demanding results from yourself. You stop waiting for the perfect moment because you realize the only perfect moment is now. Now, every time you face an obstacle, you have two choices. You can let it define you, or you can let your why drive you through it. The difference between breaking and breaking through is your connection to that purpose. When your why is strong, pain doesn't scare you. Rejection doesn't stop you. Failure doesn't break you. Because you understand that everything you're going through is just a test to see how bad you really want it. And if you're not willing to endure the test, you don't deserve the reward. Fear is natural. Doubt is natural. But letting them control you, that's a choice. When your why is strong enough, it gives you courage in moments of weakness. It reminds you of what's at stake. It reminds you of the people counting on you, the future that depends on you, the version of yourself that's waiting to be born on the other side of the struggle. That's why you can't afford to have a small why. A weak why crumbles under pressure. A powerful why rises under pressure. It turns obstacles into opportunities, pain into purpose, and failure into foundation. There's a fire inside every person. But most people let life's storms put it out. The ones who keep it burning are those who guard their why like it's oxygen. You've got to protect it, feed it, nurture it. Every single day, you've got to remind yourself why you're doing this. Write it down, speak it out loud, visualize it. Because the world will try to distract you. The world will throw comfort, temptation, and excuses your way. It'll whisper that it's okay to slow down, that it's okay to stop. But your why has to roar back. reminding you that every step, every sacrifice, every ounce of effort is leading you somewhere greater. You might not have all the answers. You might not have all the resources. But if you have a powerful why, you have everything you need. Because a strong why creates resourcefulness. It pushes you to find a way to keep going, to keep learning, to keep fighting. It doesn't let you settle. It doesn't let you make excuses. It keeps you accountable when nobody's watching. That's what champions are made of. People whose why burns so bright that nothing can dim it. Think about every time you failed before and got back up. What made you do it? It wasn't luck. It wasn't someone else pushing you. It was that spark inside that refused to die. That's your why. It's always been there, guiding you even when you didn't realize it. But now it's time to feed it, to let it drive you harder than ever. Because the moment your why becomes non-negotiable, everything changes. The fear still comes, but it doesn't stop you. The pain still hurts, but it doesn't paralyze you. The obstacles still stand, but you start seeing them as proof that you're on the right path. You've got to make your why personal. It can't just be words. It has to be something you feel in your bones, something that gets you emotional when you think about it. Because when it's personal, quitting becomes impossible. You'll crawl if you have to. You'll bleed if you have to. You'll find a way because your why won't let you stop. That's the kind of drive that turns dreams into reality. That's the kind of hunger that separates the talkers from the doers. So when life throws its worst at you, when you're broke, tired, defeated, when everyone walks away, your why will be the thing that keeps you alive. It will be your reminder that this isn't about comfort, it's about calling. It's about finishing what you started and proving to yourself that you were always capable of more. Because when your why is stronger than your excuses, you stop making them. When your why is stronger than your fear, you stop running. When your why is stronger than your obstacles, you start winning.